Have you ever felt like there was something wrong with someone but you couldn't understand their nature? Maybe it's a colleague or relative, or a friend who always smiles at you and always makes you feel smaller, less confident, more exhausted. The truth is that not everyone you meet in life is kind, and being a good person yourself is no guarantee that others will treat you that way. This video delves into a powerful truth that we will know how to recognize a person's personality, understand the inner nature, to know how to treat and prevent it. This video breaks it down into 10 clear behaviors that signal you might be dealing with a toxic person. Whether it's someone who always blames, finds joy in the pain of others, or constantly lies to protect their image, these traits aren't just emotionally damaging, they're soul-draining. Sometimes these people appear as strangers passing your path. There is a painful truth that sometimes mean people are often acquaintances, or they come from your own family members. That's why this video not only highlights the behaviors, but also helps you know what to do about. You'll learn why your intuition matters, how to set boundaries, and why distancing yourself isn't rude. It's survival. If you are someone who values peace, emotional security, and healthy relationships, this is the kind of wisdom you don't want to miss. It's not just about criticism, it's about protecting your energy, honoring your values, and learning to walk away when you need to. Please stay with us until the end. Let's look at 10 warning signs, starting with one that may surprise you. Have you ever noticed someone who seems like smiled brightly when witness someone else struggling, someone who smirks when someone else is down, or someone who teases you when you're having a rough day? That's not just bad behavior, it's also a serious warning sign. Today we will learn the first 3 dangerous signs that show you are dealing with an evil person and how these behaviors are silently eroding your peace of mind. The first thing that's worrying, some people actually use it joy in your pain. Maybe it's a colleague who laughs when you make a mistake, or a friend who always finds a way to turn your difficulties into their own words. When someone takes pleasure in your discomfort, they are showing you exactly who they are. But it doesn't stop there. The second sign is one that many people ignore until it becomes unbearable: the need for control. These people aren't just organized or assertive, they want power over your choices, your time, even your emotion. Think of someone who constantly tells you where to go, who to talk to, or how to behave. They may mask it as concern or leadership, but the truth is, they can't stand not being in control. It can happen in a romantic relationship, at work, or even in a friendship, and the longer you let it go, the tighter their grip becomes. The third, more subtle sign, but one of the most important, that strange, uncomfortable feeling you get when you're around them. You may not be able to explain it. You just feel exhausted, anxious, or upset in their presence. That's not a coincidence. Your intuition is warning you, and it's time to start listening. This video not only exposes these signs, I teach you how to recognize them early, trust your instincts, and protect your energy. If you've ever doubted yourself after a strange interaction or felt bad around someone everyone else seemed to like, this is the insight you need. Follow along as we continue to look at all 10 signs, and by the end you'll know exactly how to spot these behaviors and what to do when they show up in your life. Don't miss what's to come. It could save you years of emotional stress. Have you ever traded with someone never seems responsible for anything? No matter what happens, it's always someone else's fault. And somehow you end up apologizing for something you didn't even do. It's one of the most emotionally negative signs that you're dealing with a toxic person. In this column, we continue to delve into the traits that reveal a person's true character. And today, we'll explore 2 of the most manipulative behaviors that can silently destroy your confidence and peace of mind. The fourth sign is lack of responsibility. These individuals are masters at avoiding blame. When a project at work fails, they will throw anyone under the bus. If they are late or forget something important, it is always because of traffic, other people, or just bad luck. But the key thing here is that they are very good at shifting stories. Over time, this erodes your self-confidence and keeps you stuck in a vicious cycle of guilt and embarrassment. Sound familiar? And it gets worse. Fifth sign, chronic lie. We're not talking about frequent white lies. We're talking about people who lie constantly, randomly, and without remorse. They fabricate stories, exaggerate their achievements, or conceal their true intention. Sometimes they lie just to manipulate the situation. Other times, it's for the thrill of control. These people don't just lie to you, they lie about you, create drama, spread misinformation, and watch it all unfold as entertainment. Here's the truth. People who lie and avoid responsibility not only damage your trust, they also damage your trust. Realistic feeling. If you've ever left a conversation wondering whether you are a problem, this video is for you. But here's the good news. Once you can spot these signs, you can stop its manipulative behavior. You'll learn how to maintain your boundaries, reclaim your voice, and protect your emotional space from people who never deserved access to it in the first place. We're just getting started, and in the next section, we'll explore the most dangerous trait of all, when someone feels no remorse for the damage they've caused. Stay with us, because the deeper we go, the clearer your life will become. What happens when someone hurts you, and they don't even flinch? No apologies, there is no sin, just excuses, or worse, silence. If you've ever met such a person, you're not imagining it, you're experiencing the effects of one of the most dangerous traits a person can have. A complete jerk, lack of remorse. In this section we will reveal why this warning sign is there, along with the opening. Cruelty is not only difficult to deal with, it is also emotionally destructive. Let's start with regret, or lack thereof. A person who does not feel guilty for causing harm does not have deep empathy. Maybe you criticize someone for taking credit for your work, but were met with deflection, ridicule, or being told you were too sensitive. It's not just denial, it's manipulation. These individuals have a way of flipping the script, making you question your memory, reactions, and sanity. If you often feel like people overreact, this video will help you step back and see the truth clearly. Then came cruelty, the kind that doesn't even try to hide it. These are the people who insult you in front of others, turn your insecurities into jokes in public, or use their words as weapons. Cruelty isn't just harsh words, it's intention. That's when someone intentionally puts you down to elevate themselves. Whether it's a toxic partner, a controlling boss, or even a friend who laughs a little too much when you're vulnerable, this behavior is never just joking. It's a tactic designed to weaken you, and the damage it causes can last for years. But recognizing these signs is the first step toward freedom. You are not too sensitive. You don't imagine things. You are just the truth about how someone's energy affects your health. And that's powerful. Follow us as we reveal even more signs in the next installment, including the subtle ways these people hide in plain sight. Because once you learn to identify cruelty and lack of remorse for what they are, you'll stop making excuses for people who don't deserve a place in your life. Let's talk about something we've all encountered. People who lie so easily, it's like second nature. Maybe they tell little white lies that don't seem harmful at first. Or maybe they go further, twisting the truth, creating drama or distorting reality to serve their own needs. Truth. When someone lies regularly and without guilt, it's not just a bad habit. It's a clear sign of deeper manipulation. In this segment, we'll explore why habit of lying and lack of empathy are serious warning signs, and how to protect yourself before trust is completely eroded. Maybe you've known someone like this, a coworker who fabricates accomplishments, a friend who lies about why they didn't show up, or a partner who says one thing but does another. These are not harmless fibers, they did the math. People who are forced to lie often do it for one reason: control. They want to shape your perception of them, of the situation, and ultimately of yourself. And the more you believe those lies, the more powerful they become. But it doesn't stop there. When confronted, these individuals rarely express remorse. Instead, they gaslamp, makes you question your memory, your judgment, even your reality. That's not what I said. You're thinking too much, or you're too emotional. Sound familiar? These phrases are used to confuse, deflect, and defend one thing, their own image. And while they avoid accountability, you still doubt yourself. It's tiring. It takes away your confidence. But here's what you need to remember. People have a habit of lying and showing off, don't care about the impact. Their words are not just dishonest, they are dangerous for your emotional health. Trust is the foundation of every meaningful relationship. Without it, what is left? In this video, you'll learn how to identify these patterns early, set healthy boundaries, and regain your clarity. Because once you spot the red flags, lies, manipulation, and lack of empathy, you'll stop making excuses and start protecting your peace. Have you ever been around someone who didn't just hurt you? They seem to enjoy it, whether by harsh words, mocking laughter, or relentless criticism. Their behavior is not random, it is intentional cruelty, and it leaves deep scars. In this part of the video, we'll dive into one of the most obvious and damaging signs of a truly toxic person: intentional cruelty to others, and what it reveals about their personalities. Cruelty is more than just shouting or insult. Sometimes it's subtle. A comment made in front of another person to embarrass you, a joke called too sharp, or constant criticism disguised as just being honest. These actions are not acts of love or care. They are trying to dominate, humiliate, and control, and they are often performed in front of others, not to solve problems, but to create problems. Think of the coworker who never misses an opportunity to belittle someone's idea in a meeting. Or a partner knows exactly which words will hurt you and uses them anyway. Or a friend who frequently jokes about your insecurities and knows how it makes you feel. This isn't just bad behavior. This is emotional abuse, and it's more common than we'd like to admit. What makes cruelty especially dangerous is that it can become normal if you stay with it long enough. You start to doubt yourself. You wonder if you're being too sensitive. You tell yourself they don't mean it that way. But let's be clear, people who continually choose to hurt others, especially those they claim to care about, are showing you who they really are. You deserve better. You deserve relationships where you are safe, supported, and respected, not relationships where you have to brace yourself for the next harsh comment. In this video, we'll show you how to recognize cruel behavior for what it really is. Not a personality quirk or prank, but a serious warning sign. And in the next section, we'll go even deeper, exploring the warning signs you might hear, not from your instincts, but from the people who love you most. Because sometimes, the people around us see the truth before we. Stay with us. This next part might help you open your eyes to something you've been trying not to see. Sometimes, the truth about the person we care about comes not from within but from those who have known us the longest and love us the most. Maybe you've been there. You meet someone new, a friend, a partner, a mentor, and everything seems great, until your closest friends or family pull you aside and say, "I'm not sure about this person." It's so annoying. You may want to protect them, but in this segment of the video, we will shed light on one of the most important things: red flags are ignored. When people who care about you start donating serious concern about someone in your life. And here's the cold truth: they're usually not wrong. This is not just opinion or ordinary criticism. Usually they come from life experience, observation, and interest. Your best friend may notice how this new person is subtly isolating you. Your sister may have seen how they blame or show controlling tendencies. Your parents can recognize emotional manipulation because they have experienced it themselves. It's not always easy to see the big picture when your heart is involved. But what about those on the outside? They see it clearly. Think about it. When many people in your life are giving you the same warning, that's not a rumor, it's a pattern. And if you brush it off, you could be walking straight into an emotionally damaging cycle. This is especially important for adults over 30, who may have had life experiences, previous relationships, or even trauma. The stakes are higher. Time is precious, and protecting your peace is more important than ever. In this video, we'll explore real-life examples of how friends and family can act as emotional mirrors, reflecting things we sometimes can't or won't see. We'll also talk about how to differentiate between genuine concerns and controlling advice, because not all feedback is created equal. But when it comes from a place of love, it's worth listening to. Next, we will dive into this one most harmful emotional tactics used by bad people: despised. It's not just criticism, it's a strategy that gradually erodes your confidence, voice, and sense of worth. And understanding it may be the most empowering thing you hear today. Stay with us. The next few minutes could change the way you view your relationships forever. Have you ever been around someone who constantly makes you feel small, even when they don't speak up? They don't need to scream or argue. They just do look at you a certain way. They roll their eyes, smirk when you speak, or make subtle criticisms of your appearance, goals, or lifestyle. This isn't just rudeness, it's scorn, one of the most emotionally dangerous signs you can encounter in a relationship, whether romantic, familial, or professional. And if you're over 30, chances are you've experienced it at least once in your life. In this part of the video, we'll explore how contempt silently erodes your confidence, dignity, and even your identity, and how you can protect yourself before the damage becomes permanent. Contempt is not always loud. Sometimes it seems like, "Why would you try that?" or "You would look better if you lost a little weight." Other times it's hidden behind a laugh, a cruel joke meant to be at your expense, disguised as just teasing. But the emotional bruises it leaves behind are real. Over time, these comments erode your self-esteem, making you doubt your values, goals, and dreams. And that's exactly what people who express contempt want. If someone constantly puts you down, criticizes your appearance, your choices, your passions, that's not love and it's not friendship. That's someone trying to turn you into a fake version of you. Surname feels strong. Contempt is the most subtle and corrosive of emotional manipulation. In this section, we'll explore how to recognize contempt in everyday interactions and how to set clear, firm boundaries with people who take advantage of your insecurity. We'll talk about why this behavior is more common than you think, especially in emotionally manipulative relationships, and why your reaction to it can empower you or tear you down over time. If you've ever left a conversation feeling bad or less than, without knowing exactly why, this could be the reason. But don't worry, awareness is powerful, and the healing process will begin as soon as you name that pattern. Next, we dive into one of the most revealing signs of a person's true character: how they treat animals. It may seem unrelated, but what we discovered might shock you, and it could be the final clue that confirms everything your gut is trying to tell you. Sometimes the clearest sign of a person's true character isn't how they treat you, but how they treat someone who can't fight back. That's why the way someone treats animals is one of the strongest red flags when it comes to identifying those who are truly harmful. You might think animal cruelty is rare or easy to spot, but often it happens behind closed doors or is dismissed as no big deal. True Thadu, people who hurt or neglect animals, are revealing something dark and dangerous about themselves, and studies have shown that this behavior is often associated with aggression and violence toward animals. Human also. Imagine you're at a friend's house and you notice their dog flinch when they enter the room. Or maybe a neighbor casually mentions yelling at or hitting their pet because he deserved it. These moments may seem small or easily overlooked, but they're not. They reveal a worrying lack of empathy and empathy is what separates those who care from those who cause harm. Cruelty to animals is not only heartbreaking, it is a window into a person's moral compass. And if that compass breaks, it won't just affect the animals, it will affect the animal's friend. In this part of the video, we'll talk about why animal abuse, even in its mildest forms like neglect or indifference, is a red flag, never is ignored. You'll know this behavior often stems from a need to control, dominate, or emotionally separate. The same traits that show up in toxic relationships, manipulation, and even emotional or physical abuse of people will also show you warning signs that someone might be mistreating animals, even if they're trying to hide it. If you have ever felt uncomfortable watching how someone treats their pet, or if you dismiss that uncomfortable feeling thinking, "I have no right to say anything," then this section is for you. Your instincts are important. And when you listen to them, you not only protect the innocent lives of animals, but you also protect your own emotional safety. Next, we'll wrap things up with a compelling conclusion and practical steps you can take to stay away from toxic people, even if they're close to you. Because no matter how much someone hides their true nature, the signs are always there. If you are brave enough to see them, stay tuned, you won't want to miss what's next. There is a deeper form of emotional abuse than most people realize, and it's often hidden in plain sight. It is called scorn. Unlike loud arguments or overt aggression, contempt is subtle, insidious, and devastating. It's the eye rolling when you share your dreams, harmful comments about your appearance, scornful laughter when you talk about something that excites you. These behaviors may seem small on the surface, but over time they can chip away at your confidence and distort the way you see yourself. In this part of the video, we'll explore how people who show contempt use it as a weapon to dominate, control, and gradually erode your sense of self-worth. These individuals may appear sarcastic, just kidding, or brutally honest, but what they are really doing is planting seeds of self-doubt in your mind. And if you've ever had someone make you feel like your goals are silly, your looks aren't good enough, or your voice isn't important, you've experienced this firsthand. Imagine a partner who constantly points out your shortcomings under the guise of helping you improve, or a friend mocks your passion or dream, causing you to doubt your abilities. These are not just bad habits, but also deliberate attacks on your self-esteem. The closer you are to people like these, the more you begin to question your worth, confidence, and potential. But here's the good news. The moment you recognize contempt for what it is, you will regain your power. In this video, we'll break down how to spot these behaviors early, how to respond without losing your self-esteem, and most importantly, how to set boundaries to protect your inner peace. Because no one has the right to make you feel small, unworthy, or invisible. Stay with us until the end as we reveal empowering strategies to rebuild your self-worth and surround yourself with people who enhance rather than diminish. You'll learn to trust your instincts, affirm your worth, and confidently walk out of relationships that sap your joy. If you've ever doubted your worth because of what someone else said, this section is for you. Let's dig deeper and start regaining your confidence today. One of the most powerful life lessons from this content is the importance of protecting your mental health by recognizing toxic behaviors early. As we age, our time and energy become more valuable, and so does our peace of mind. People who manipulate, control, or belittle others can gradually erode our self-worth if we are not careful. It's important to trust your instincts, set clear boundaries, and stay away from people who drain your spirit. You deserve relationships built on mutual respect, honesty, and kindness. Whether it's a friend who constantly criticizes, a partner who shows no remorse, or someone who makes you feel guilty for their mistakes, learning to walk away isn't weakness, it's wisdom. In your 30s and beyond, protecting your inner peace is not a luxury, it's a necessity for a fulfilling and solid life. Choose connection, but never at the expense of your self-esteem.